شباب أنا اسمي هذر أنا كتير تعبانة بس عندي مفردات جديد في درس 11 اليوم. The way I remember someone is this is someone or this is a person. It kind of sounds like هذا بشامي, but حدا or in Fusha, if it's more formal, a nostalgic memory, I had someone special a long time ago. Ahad. Then nobody is, or no one is la ahad or ma hada. Then for see, if you think of the song, they see me rolling, they hating, and you see this girl driving by in a car that you don't like, and you say, oh, bad her, or bahar for sea, or it'd be really hard to have to row through a whole bunch of seas, so multiple seas, or bihar, because it'd be hard. To exchange, tabadala. Sorry, I'm losing. Oh yeah, okay. Tabadala. If you think of the battle, you're exchanging sword blows in the battle, and it's a really big, bad battle. So you remember that there's an aleph in there after the ba. Tabadala, or yatabadal is the verb for he battles, or he says, yeah, the battle, yatabadal, or exchanging or battling, at the battle. It kind of sounds like a rap almost, at the battle, because you have to remember that there's a dhamma in the masdar. Then for between and among, if you think of the poisonous plant wolf's bane is among us. It's poisonous, so it kills you. So hatred is among us. I don't know, something between or among. Baina or bane, an experience. Tajriba. I think of saying like tag me back. Tajriba. I know that doesn't really connect a ton, but tag me back. Tajriba. Or tag. You're playing tag and then you scream, ah! I broke my ribs. If you're having a lot of experiences, one experience is just tajriba, but a lot of experiences is you're playing tag a lot of times and you break your ribs, so it's tajariba. Then for together, to gather together, the verb to gather together. So for past tense, for huwa, he emphasized that he gathered everybody together, and he's just so proud of it. He's just hitting it on the head with all the fathas. Tajamma. And then he gathers together, yatajamma, or all the gathering, at the jum'ah. If you think of the Museum of Art, the MOA, you're going to gather together at the Jam MOA, and that's where the gathering is. So for the Mastar for gathering, you remember that there's a Dhamma there, and that the Shadda is above the Meme. At the Jam MOA. At the Jam MOA, the MOA where you have all the different types of jam on exhibit at the Jam MOA. Then for the word for Tor is, if you think of the word Zauj or spouse backwards, it kind of sounds like Jiao. So if you say your Jiao or your spouse doesn't want to come on the tour, Jaula bahab fi tour. Or, if you say Jaula bahab to come on the tour. First, I don't know, that kind of helps me remember it. Like, gee, good gracious, it gets that ga or ja in there. Jaula. Jaula means tour, and your zawj does not want to come on the tour. Jawla. And then if you made them go on a whole bunch of tours, it would be a big no-no. So it'd be jawlat. And then for shyness or embarrassment, if you cause somebody a hassle, you're probably going to be embarrassed. So if you think of hassle and rajal, if you cause a hassle for a man or for a rajal, al-khajal, al-khajal, al-khajal. It's for shyness or embarrassment, al-khajal. Then she got engaged to khutibat li, khutibat li. She say she's a hottie, but there's Lee, her fiance. Khutibat li. And then in Shaami, AnKhaTabit 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 La AnKhaTabit La AnKhaTabit La. And I think of AnKhaTabit La, like about the fish or something. The fish swallowed a ring or something. I don't know if you've heard that joke about the fish swallowing the ring and there being a donut or something. It's a long stupid joke, but anyhow. AnKhaTabit La AnKhaTabit La is bishami. Khutibat li bifusa AnKhaTabit La bishami. Then the word for tourism, if you're on a tour and you say I see I see because you're seeing all the different sites. Or if you think of the word for swimming, asibaha, tourism is just like that. Asiyaha, asiyaha, asiyaha. Well, the word for market is souk, and if you think of all the sewers that suck the garbage and the rain down in all over the marketplaces in the town square, it's kind of gross, but sewers suck your feet in the market, so it souk, I don't know, it kind of like sounds like sock, sucking feet, souk. And then a swack is what you get if you go to the markets too much, you just feel swacked. Aswak, souk and aswak, market and markets. And for pharmacy, saidaliya or saidaliyat. I think of Leah took drugs to be happy because the word is for pharmacy, and so Saida is happy and Leah, Saidaliya. She took drugs to be happy, or Saidaliyat. Multiple pharmacies. Then the word for several, if someone offers you cookies, you're gonna want several, right? And it's like adda. So we have ayn with a kasra, and then da with shadda, and then tamarbuta. Idda bifusa, and then kam bishami. And then to get to know to me is pretty easy because we already know the verb for arif. It's just ta'arafa ala, yata'araf ala, at-ta'aruf ala. And the way I remember the Mofstar is we're going to get to know you better and get to meet you better at our roof restaurant. That's where we're meeting. At-ta'aruf, because it helps you remember there's a dhamma there. At-ta'aruf. Then the word for emotional or romantic, atifi or atifiya. And if you think of a really romantic guy going, aw, like, aw, because there's ayn and then aleph, and then tifi, and just kind of gushing that out because he's dating a girl named Tiffy. Aw, Tiffy, aw, Tiffy, aw, Tiffy, for emotional or romantic. Then most of. Okay, if you want most of them, but you only have a few, you're going to need some more of them, right? So you say, ma'adam, with meen, dhamma, ayn, dham, and meme. Ma'adam, more of them, ma'adam. I want most of them. Most is the word. I want most of them, so I'm going to need more of them. Ma'adam. Then the word for relationship or relationships between the pirate. If you think of like some pirate or weird person with a strange accent and say, I like her. Like, I like her, but I like her. And remember here we have ayn, lam, aleph, qaf, tamrabuta. Alaqa, or bishami, ala. Then the word for when, not the question word when, like what time when, is when, like when I was little or something. So if you're going to put the past behind you and look back to when you were little, the word is عندما, Ain with kesra, عندما. It's like, it's behind me, عندما, behind, عندما, عند me, عندما, عندما. And then bishami, we know it's limma. Then the word for expensive, there was this girl I knew named Hallie that was kind of spoiled. غالي. So I just think of the word غالي. That's with غين. غالي. For expensive. غالي or غالية. If it's something that Hallie would have, it's really expensive. So a hotel. You sleep at Boondocks or the Fun Dock. You want to sleep on the funnest dock. If you think of all the decks on hotels, the Fun Dock or Boondocks or something, Funduk, with two dhammas and ends in a cough. And if you stay in lots of hotels, like hotel after hotel after hotel, you're kind of obsessed, so you might be a fanatic. So fanatic, with an alif, there's a long vowel in there, for lots of hotels. So funduk and fanatic. Then the word for be, the verb to be cut off. So, in, during, or within the cutting, you scream in pain. So in cut ah, in cut ah, in qata, in qata, in qata. First vowel is a kesra, then fatha. In qata, in qata. And then yin qata, for he's cutting off, or he's being cut off. And then for the mastar, al-inqita, I think of el-inqita, like inky, I-N-K-Y, lots of ink, el-inqita. And if you think of that little squid in Nemo that kind of doesn't fit in with the rest of her friends, it's a little pink one, and she's always like, oh, you made me ink. She feels like she's being cut off. So for the mastar, el-inqita, like she's a tot or a toddler, el-inqita, el-inqita. And it ends with aleph and ain. And then bishami, it's there are kesras instead of fathas, so it's yinkata, yinkita, or yinita. Then for once or one time, if you remember Martintania, like saying again please or something, Mara. Remember there's a shada on the ra there. Yeah, or I don't know if you've seen the movie that has a girl named Mara in it. Mara lived once upon a time. Mara. Then the word for together. So if you think about mom and Monday, ma and Monday, man, man is responsible for Monday gatherings, because the word man is together. So on Monday, mom gathers the family together for family night. Man. But in Shaami, it's less formal than Fusha, right? And family night is less formal if we only have some of the family members as compared with all of them. So without the whole family, it's mabad with some. The informal Shaami together with only some is ma'abad. When you have the whole family together, mom gathers everyone together on Monday, ma'an. And then of or among is min. I find that pretty easy to remember because if you think min saf or of our class or in our class, I don't know. I think that's pretty easy to remember. And then the word for engineer, muhandis or muhandisun, muhandisin. If you think of engineers fixings, right? So if you're saying mend this, please mend this for me, muhandis, you should be able to remember that. I'm so sorry for my slow pronunciations. Thank you for your patience with me, and I hope that this video helped you in some way. Developing mnemonic devices is a good way to be able to remember the vocabulary because it connects things that you're familiar with pathways that are already in your brain to these new vocabulary words, and it helps you retain them better. Yeah, mabruk.